Okay, before we get into the weeds of this reading, I want to open this up with some Palo Santo. I usually do this before I hit record, but I did. And then I sat with the main message cards for a minute, and I heard a lot of static. I heard a lot of noise. In fact, any kind of message coming through or imagery just seemed to be kind of, as soon as it'd come in, it would disappear, or the message would be like muffled almost. It was quite a strange sensation, and a lot of this I think comes just from the cards themselves. We have the Five of Inspiration and the Moon here as the main message, why I'm sitting here doing this reading. And this is conflict and competition mixed with confusion and illusion. So you've got competing messages, competing energies, competing directions, and a whole lot of confusion swirling around it. It feels like being in a mental spiral and not being able to calm yourself down to like physically ground what you need to. And this is somehow affecting your ability to align yourself in abundance. This could be like a new opportunity maybe coming through. We'll find out deeper in the cards. Or just a new phase in your life where your leadership qualities are actually coming to the forefront. It almost feels like you're being kind of polished in this static. It's like the intensity of not knowing what's next or what's around the corner is actually serving your purpose. It may feel discouraging and defeating right now, but it's like for a good higher purpose, because you're coming out on the other side full of charisma and confidence and vision and creativity and influence. Huge leadership energy, but that requires you to be really strong and rooted in your own sense of security first. You won't see the rewards of money and things around you and gifts and whatever, payments, if you can't be rooted in your own sense of security first in this particular message. The frequency of fertility is joining us here to kind of clarify this. Five of Wands and Moon card. The frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. Very King of Wands energy. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander expression of ourselves. So your growth is on the table, but I feel like it's all coming through this like really hazy, you got to walk through some fog for a bit here to help reach a point where you will know when and how to step forward in the leadership energy that you're building behind the scenes. Let's dig in here. I want to start pulling this apart. I'm going to use this deck, like Five of Wands on the bottom. I'm going to use this deck because it's simple and black and white. There's not a whole lot of distraction or energy around it, and I feel like that's almost like the antidote to the static, to the confusion. But first, what I want to do is run a little clarification exercise here. And dig into these main messages to see if I can't narrow this down first before we get into the what does it deal with, what does it not mean, cross spread that I normally do. So the Five of Inspiration, help me understand this conflict. Is this conflict? Is this competition? Is this distractions? I'm getting distractions. She's getting distracted by all these mirrors, but there's only one that she should be focusing on. Some of them, it's not even focusing on the mirrors. Are you focusing on the right things? That's the question that comes to mind. King of Swords. I feel like this is uncertainty and discerning the distractions around you. There's this sense that nothing feels fulfilling right now. You almost feel like you have a dopamine issue. What is that? That's the Five of Wands too, in the reverse. A time for healing old conflicts, stepping away from a sense of competition, not trying to like recklessly follow it through. Every one of these clarifiers is in reverse. So we've got sharp words and sharp thoughts, a loss of hope, something that maybe you thought was beginning from an emotional standpoint and never came to fruition. And the Five of Wands in reverse to me feels like a backing away. What I'm seeing is someone with their hands up going, whoa, 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 I don't want to touch that. Very unusual. And the Page of Wands tells me there's some immaturity here in like a stop-start energy. Maybe you get these great ideas and you start working on them, but then the distractions come pouring in and then all you hear is static, so you get overwhelmed. Let me see this Moon card. Magician. Yeah, you want to manifest something new, but it's not connecting quite well. That connection with your muse, your inspiration, whatever that deep part of you in the heart that delivers or leads you is experiencing some issues. Because your reconnection needs to come through either an authority figure around you or your own inner authority. It's like you're going to be sitting at the big dog table pretty soon is what I'm feeling for some reason. So don't worry about the static and the noise around you. Just come ready for when you get that invite to sit at the table. And I mean this metaphorically. It could be literal if you're like dealing with a boss or something like that, and this is applying for you in work especially. But there is a union necessary just as much on the outside with a sense of authority to within yourself. You've got to drop some of this emotionality. The Page of Cups in reverse with the Page of Wands in reverse together says there's a lot of immaturity here between your like start-stop energy and like this I hate it, I love it, kind of bounce back and forth through it. It can throw you off kilter. So yeah, reunion here, or making a stronger union with your authority, your willpower, your strength, your confidence, your direction, your vision, your control. It's like you're controlling all the little minions around you. Okay, let's see what's here on the bottom. Two of Pentacles reverse, Nine of Pentacles, Five of Swords reverse. Dropping conflict, really getting like in your feels here about understanding that you've worked really hard. You don't need to overwork yourself. You don't need to stretch yourself too thin anymore. Maybe you did in the past and you're kind of being able to relax a little bit now. But that relaxing is causing a bunch of like inner turmoil because your brain thinks you need to be in this energy and your soul is saying like, no, it's time to rest. It's time to recuperate. It's time to let the uncertainty kind of do its thing because you're juicing your battery up here to come front and center when you're called to. And this will help with that inner conflict. It'll bring a unity to it, a sense of harmony again. It's like whatever battles you were going against before, whether within yourself or with another, potentially with another, there is healing here. Suddenly you and this dark energy are holding hands on a rooftop dancing. Like you're totally in a vibe. Okay. Well, this should be interesting to unfold. I just heard the song by Blondie, Let's Get Physical. Whatever that may mean for you, that might be something important. Okay, so tell me, Divine Team, what are we dealing with today? What is this message dealing with? This fertility, this King of Wands, and all that static I keep hearing, that noise. What is this dealing with? Nine of Wands and the Empress. Nine of Wands in reverse. And the Empress. This is putting a blockage down to your abundance, your fertility frequency. Sorry, I had to finish my thought there. This lady, this Empress, is able to manifest and magnetize as if it's as natural as breathing. And I'm feeling a sense here that there's been some weird blockage or defense system or walls up around you in terms of abundance. And so things are kind of staticky here because I think you're trying to shift and morph with a pretty crazy environment. I mean, nobody can say that the world around us is not getting more insane each day. And as you're navigating this energy, something has happened where your own sense of control, your inner authority, your inner leadership, and your ability to attract and magnetize some form of abundance and wealth and fertility has been blocked for some time. And I think this reading is going to really be about using this time to your advantage so that when the time comes to remove the blockage and to release it and to reconnect ego, soul, and higher vision into one, then that time is when you will actually be like, okay, well, here I am. Here's me, the King of Wands. Here's me, the King of Pentacles. I've gone through a transformation. Here's me, the Empress. I draw in money like a moth to a flame. There's just this natural magnetism to it. A hypnotization almost. And this is definitely about your abundance. An investment, a business, your job, how you manage your money or how you make your money is involved here. And a transformation about that. Maybe it's a way of seeing, a different perspective, something that you were brought up to believe, suddenly you realize like it's not actually how the world works, and then you're enlightened and then you can play the game. Okay. So help me narrow down what this does not mean. This is not an answer to your money prayers. This is not like a investment. I think that's going to like blow up and solve all your depression and whatever regrets you've had from the past. I'm hearing this is not about a winning lotto ticket. Okay. So this is not something that's coming through to you without effort, is I guess what I'm gathering here the most on these two. This is about traditions, rules, and guidance of some sort, something formal, something that's been long-standing. And in that comes a choice from a heart or a magnetism of abundance potentially, Eight of Swords reverse fell to the floor as I was trying to shuffle. Yeah, unlocking. I just heard power up unlocked. Okay. You're not getting information here on a winning lotto ticket. You're getting information here on a system that's worked for a long time and releasing any doubts or negativities or thoughts or hesitations around that, so that you can tap into like a heart connection. And make decisions from the heart in this connection. There is a mental ending here that needs to be had, but for some reason you're not quite letting this go. This almost feels like a, what's the word for it? Like a schism? It's like a memory loop in some way. It's like, well, that can't be right. I can't invest in stocks because everybody's stocks just crash out, you know? It's like, or we're going to have the Great Depression again. Nobody's stocks are going to be worth anything. I mean, it's like some kind of weird thought that you've imprinted from a long time ago that doesn't serve you. And there is a different tradition available to you, one from the heart. If you can kind of step out of this mental loop phase here. Your mind is the biggest blocker to your abundance. You have potential for expansion and opportunities and things to bring into you and to manifest new things. Here's the Three of Wands, where it's drawing in and attracting that abundance, the ships to come in, and to be emotionally fulfilled from that. On the bottom of the surface here, there's something more emotionally fulfilling for you. It could be with work. It could be with a marriage. It could be something to do with a traditional soulmate relationship of some sort. But the Hierophant with the Lovers, it does lean a little bit more into marriage and some kind of fears around that, committing to something potentially on a more traditional sense. But, you know, the Lovers can also be just a decision. One that you can't just think and one that you can't just feel. One that you have to use both to really follow what's important for you. And it's a tough decision. It's nothing light. It's going to take probably a few mental spiral spin outs for you to kind of get a grip before you can make that decision. And that's just part of the process. So don't fear it. I think you almost fear this in some way. This could be a fear commitment to something. Okay, let's get the advice. That was the bottom of the deck energy for that position. One more. Ace of Pentacles reverse, Knight of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Judgment on the bottom, the Magician in reverse on the bottom. Okay, so this is a really strong message about being careful and cautious about what you're going to commit to. This decision of the heart may come with some pretty heavy commitments, so you got to be cautious of how much you're willing to invest or give, what you're willing to plant right now. Not every opportunity is solid, and that's why following your heart is so important and not getting locked in the cycle of the mind versus the cycle of emotions. You've got to use the two in tandem to really listen to what's being, I think, told to you, what's being guided or even mentored to you in a certain sense. Don't waste energy trying to force growth in soil that just doesn't have the ability to grow. It's not fertile. There's no fertility there. You have to be very discerning. The Knight of Swords is all about moving with clarity. He's coming right into this opportunity to like kind of cut the bullshit out of it. He's very decisive. When the right moment hits, he's ready to act. He's direct, he's fast. He's very much about unapologetic action. But make sure you know what you're charging at first. Don't do this where you charge at the barren soil to cut it up. What a waste of energy, right? You have other things that you can manage and juggle. You have other things that I think can occupy you besides chasing potentially a few empty false starts. So do beware of the false starts. I mean, balance is everything. Keep your flexibility, juggle wisely. Don't let yourself tip into overwhelm at any point here. Don't rush in too fast, headstrong, without a solid, grounded sense of security and a backup plan. And then with Judgment on the bottom, this is the backbone. It's about awakening. It's a clear perspective here and a call to higher alignment. You are really being asked to see past short-term like busyness, static, and noise, and all those kind of shaky starts or those false starts, and instead make choices that reflect your bigger calling, that reflect your soul's calling, because that's the connection that needs to be made here. This is a soulmate connection, and this could be a connection with your own soul, with your own authority, your own leadership qualities and abilities. They're like in there, but they're hiding for some reason. All right, let's see what this is good for Instead of where this leads, we'll do them separately. What is this good for first? And then where does this lead? This is good for the King of Wands. There you are, showing up. And the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, the King of Wands, either not bringing himself correct to the table, not putting in the effort, the work, the skills, the skill building, the apprenticeship into being this king and embodying this king, the sense of security, the sense of frequency of fertility. Or this is a cautionary tale. What this is good for is a King of Wands energy who has possibly worked themselves to the bone, to the point of burnout, where they've lost their sense of leadership. They've lost a sense of direction, of focus, of that creative spark and that passion. It feels like that blockage, that Nine of Wands, has kind of gotten in the way of that. Where does this lead if the advice is taken? A new opportunity, one that is no bullshit. What is she calling the truth toward? What truth is she calling towards her? That soul calling, that soul awakening. This also leads to you learning really important soul lessons in how to discern the truth correctly, and to discern the truth and communicate, link that communication, that thought process to your higher self, your higher being, your soul that is trying to connect to you in some way. Bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Wands, the Ten of Swords, some form of competition, competing energy, busyness, this static, I think, in some sort. See what those clarifiers were again. Yeah, this is going away. This is ending. It's coming to a close very soon. It could be a rather painful ending. Maybe that's why it's not closed out yet and everything feels so uncertain, because it's bad. I mean, it's not like a great feeling to end whatever needs to be ended. But then there is this element of your perseverance, your patience, and being very discerning of what you invest your skills, your resources, your time into. And through that comes another truth, a clarity, an aha moment, possibly answering what judgment is trying to call you on. Why is judgment calling you? What is it trying to tell you? What is the call? Let's look at that. Tell me more about this judgment. Yeah, this wake-up call is, I think, some clarity where you have had some misguided judgment. Maybe you're dealing with distorted authority or your own distorted sense of authority in some way. There's been some kind of like misused truth here. And it's alerting you to wake up where clarity has been a bit twisted and where decisions are clouded by a sense of bias or control or dishonesty. It could be yours. It could be other people's. Maybe a truth you're not willing to see. And judgment is on the bottom. This feels like a reckoning of some sort. You've been isolating. You've been isolating and finding solitude, finding your guidance. Ten of Wands reverse, I just found it on the floor. That came out too. And this is about unloading that burden. Perhaps you've been holding a truth for too long. Something you need to be really real about. Is it something that you want that you're not sharing with others? And it's becoming such a heavy burden for you. It's like it's eating you. Okay, well, I want to get a spell card. I want to see how the universe is supporting you on this. We have knowledge. Let me connect above and below with the knowledge of ancestors flow. You know something. Maybe it's static right now, but I think you're going to know something. Something ancestral. I think it's about this blockage. The Nine of Wands in reverse. And this is calling you to study. This knowledge requires you to study. It's on the bottom of the deck. That's where I'm getting this. Let my mind be clear and strong. Let me study well and long. This is about an information flow of some sort, one that unlocks something for you. Okay. We've got a blockage. I feel like that's pretty apparent here. Potentially a cycle that's repeated. I'd like to get a crystal card to help heal the energy of whoever this may apply to. Myself, others, anyone around dealing with this right now. What kind of crystal energy can help this person or this reading? Ultimate healing, the golden healer. With the mind's eye on the bottom of the deck. So the golden healer is a catalyst for transformation. You are stepping into a role where really deep ultimate healing and spiritual activation are going to start flowing through you naturally. Before there was some type of blockage or defense to them, and through, I think, study and knowledge, something you already know. You know, the Hierophant could be your ancestors. There's like some form of old tradition or value or belief system that you were brought up on or brought up around that has some type of important influence for you now. So this knowledge is already ready for you. You need to study how to receive it, how to absorb it, and how to allow it be a catalyst for transformation. The call is to move beyond the limits of your ego, beyond the limits of your senses, and really allow your soul to guide these decisions and actions. And that's kind of echoed here with this static. The moon echoes that sentiment. You can't use a map when you have the moon lingering around. You have to use your intuition. You have to be sure you're discerning and deciding what is an illusion and what's real. And that's that same ego to soul shift that needs to happen. And studying that, I think, will really help you root down in that sense of security and being able to navigate that way. It feels foreign because I don't think you've had to do it yet. You really need to trust your intuition. It is very important. If anything you take away from watching this is building that relationship with how to interpret, how to use, and how to tap into your intuition. This healing is a process. It's not a task to assign yourself to jump yourself into, to check off boxes and build a, weekly check-in template with. I mean, this is a process. This isn't something you do. It is something that that radiates through you when you surrender to the process. So this is really an epitome of release and renewal. And someone clinging to the past, it could be yourself, it could be another person, needs to let go. A transformation requires releasing old ties that are no longer healthy, releasing old beliefs, so that you can embrace something that you've, whatever reason, I keep coming back to this, but you've already known. It's like already been within you for a long time. You just need to be able to transfer that from thought or ether down to like consciousness and embodiment. With the mind's eye here on the bottom, I mean, this is telling me you actually have quite a gift, a natural talent for intuitive foresight. You can naturally perceive, not believe, you can naturally perceive beyond the ordinary, but grounding is crucial here. So you don't want to get lost in a fantasy or over imagining or things like that. And that's where I think this root chakra comes in to help balance out maybe the flightier thoughts and the illusions. Discernment in your intuition, again, I know I already said this, but a common sense is the anchor. So filter what's real from what's a projection. Definitely guard against energy that drains you, Labradorite is really great for protecting against like psychic vampires or leaky auras. So definitely strengthen your boundaries, your root chakra, to stay resilient. These setbacks and things that you're encountering may feel destabilizing, but this is a really, again, part of the process here. And the Labradorite signals kind of a sudden breakthrough and kind of a reversal of whatever disheartening or destabilizing events have been going on. And this is really beautiful to close out with because it really seals the deal here on this whole, like, this isn't just about healing and being a healing channel in the ultimate healing. And this isn't just about being a psychic channel. This is actually a full holistic transformation. We've got root chakra all the way up to the mind's eye. And then the ultimate healing rolling right in through the crown chakra to kind of complete the full 7 chakras in between. Together, this all shows you that you're not just a receiver of spiritual energy. I think you're a transmuter of some sort. A transmitter. And healing flows through you, guided by this clear intuitive vision that you are able to root down and then therefore act upon, and therefore inspire others to act upon with you. I mean, this pairing alone is activating like the seer healer archetype. So you're being refined as both a channel for that healing energy and that intuitive energy with discernment, with the Queen of Swords to help guide you. It's a message here to study on this, to grow in this. It's like information you already know, but I think you need to study how to access it. I also feel like using your inner sight needs to be done responsibly. Like you really need to stay grounded when you do that. And really letting your soul, not your ego, not your fantasy, guide the healing work that you're meant to embody here. What a beautifully powerful message. That's where I'll leave it for now. If this resonated with you, if this is your story too, then claim it in the comments. Thank you.